and I want your open, honest opinion. Okay, so if you enjoy intelligent quarterback analysis, legal commentary, Tony Talks Vested Up is for you. So let's begin. Well, come on to the stage, Willie D, Willie D, Willie D. So also today I watched a very interesting conversation that he had with the gentleman named, he's a defense attorney named Spurling. I spoke him up last night. When we were talking about the other Willie D defense attorney, which I didn't get his name. So today it just happened to come up on my timeline. The defense attorney Spurling was there. So I need to go ahead and open up the open forum with this. And I really want your honest opinion. Now, let me go ahead and set the stage. We already know Mississippi is playing around. We already know that Mississippi, from our standpoint, is not taking the Mr. Wells case seriously. As of now, we're going into almost 30 days. There has been no suspects questioned. There has not been any proper investigations, besides one or two young men talking to that particular, that ex-officer, if he was an officer. Besides that, nothing else has really come out today. I saw a lot of podcasters putting out their thumbnails regarding the autopsy. Well, there's a particular investor that I talked to behind the scenes, actually about 2 or 3, and I told them, consider this. Consider if the autopsy is completed, but they don't let the public know exactly what's in the autopsy. So that's what I heard from several content creators today, including Willie D. Basically, they're going to hold on to Mississippi is going to keep the official autopsy seal, the state autopsy seal, until it goes into the grand jury. So I've set the stage for that. Now, watching the Willie D interview with Spaulding, I'm assuming that is what his name is, Spurling. The video was around, let me say, about 59 minutes, almost an hour, and I got 2 clips from you. So make sure, I'm giving you a warning, make sure you go ahead and get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we stay vested up over here at Tony Talks, vested up, compelling sports edge. And he may trigger you a little bit, but I understood. Once I put my emotions to the side, I started considering what he said. And as of now, the family has not hired a criminal attorney, but they have hired a civil attorney. Well, Tony Talks vested up. Tell me, how do I know this? Well, you see this right here? We never read this together. It's through AI. I say AI. I said, I'm not a lawyer for educational purposes only. I say, hey, I upload this. I said, based off the wording in this intent to sue, this particular memorandum, I said, does it sound more like a criminal case that they're going to push to go for, or does it sound more like a civil suit? And based off the response, this is a civil suit that the parents is going after. So I had my conversation, right? I said, well, is it possible for the family, let me go and put this out here. I raised the question, is it possible to file a civil suit first and then seek criminal justice? The answer is yes. But at this point, because there's been no suspects, no evidence have been turned over. They ain't even talking about evidence, right? Only thing the DA has said that he's willing to talk to the parents and the lawyer. So as of right now, we have nothing. So at this point, I can see why the family has only filed a civil suit. Well, Tony, why they haven't filed a criminal lawsuit yet? Well, you remember when I talked about law enforcement and their responsibilities and their duties to do an investigation, to get the evidence, do what they need to do behind the scene and present a case to the DA? Remember, I just brought that up at the end of the last live. Well, if a DA doesn't have that type of information in front of them, right? it won't be no criminal case. It won't be no criminal case. So as of right now, the family has filed a civil lawsuit against all of the parents that was on the boat with Nolan Wells. But let me go ahead and do this right here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and give you a hint of what was said in the interview with Willie D and the defense attorney.
Clearly, you can be arrested before the indictment, before the charge, and you can be held on suspicion. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I would like to. I know that having the report, the autopsy report, will be helpful. I'm not sure, but again, I'm gonna go back to my gut feeling is telling me that this is a civil case. My gut feeling is telling me that Ben Crump and the parents and Ben Crump is, we know him. He's dealt with death before life. He's dealt with the people up in Ferguson, and he knows how to talk to people. Hey, look, might as well get some good to come from this.
But
So
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right that Ben Crump is, he is a civil attorney. He does know how to go get the bread. But I've never witnessed Ben Crump so involved in a criminal case, the criminal side of it. I've never seen him so dedicated to the criminal side of, because typically he just comes out and he makes the case, he brings a lot of attention to the case, because the cameras follow Ben everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So if Ben Crump starts talking, you better believe somebody gonna be recording. So Ben Crump, he's one of the best that does what he does. He is a person who can go out there and get you financial justice, right?
Mm-hmm. He's a rainmaker. Yeah, he brings in the case. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
but I've never seen him this heavily involved in the criminal side and speaking on that side of the case.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that is why I'm convinced that this is not a criminal case, because nobody spends $10,000 to $30,000 of their law firm's money on a criminal.
He didn't spend that money. He didn't spend that money on the autopsy. Colin Kaepernick did.
Okay, but then the transport from the body from DC from Mississippi to DC plus the autopsy, that's $15,000. Okay, so let's say you don't spend $10,000 on a criminal case. That's going to be on, if the family can't afford it, then that's something that the state needs to deal with. And so again, I'm going to go back to my position, and I hate to, and I'm just be honest with you, man. It seems to me it's a lot of people and who come into these situations and they get the public involved. They purposely throw out a lot of misinformation. They get people emotionally involved, and that helps them drive up the settlement value of a case. I don't do that, but I'm just speaking honestly with you. It's a lot of people. If you can generate enough publicity about a situation, you could make something that's mundane and possibly trivial into a big deal. I mean,
but isn't law enforcement doing the same thing?
I mean, we can
from day one. Hold on, day one. The sheriff, John Leadbetter, said we don't suspect foul play. He hadn't examined the body. He hadn't talked to any independent investigators or state investigators. He hadn't seen any pictures. He just said we don't suspect foul play, just like that.
I recall that, and I do think that was premature. He'd probably been better and see that again, this is Mississippi. And I don't want anybody to think that Black people, when we hear things happen in Mississippi, we're not suspicious, because Mississippi there are kids born in 2002 who grew up in Mississippi with the Confederate flag. And so Mississippi has a horrible history. So for all the people who are saying Black people are overreacting, Black people are this, and you guys are just biting into the conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. It's Mississippi. I get that. And when we hear about sheriffs in Mississippi and mayors in Mississippi, when we start talking about governors in Mississippi, I understand why Black people are upset. So in my humble opinion, that sheriff probably should have kept his mouth shut, because he didn't help the situation by totally just blowing off a young Black man who disappeared and then turned out dead under mysterious circumstances. He didn't help the situation. Sometimes silence is the better part of discretion. That said, okay, if we do find out that this is actually has always been about a lawsuit and somebody trying to line their coffers, I think the public would be disappointed. And I'm just saying that I think you should the people of the public should set yourself up, because this is what it is. And you have to recognize that you're being used emotionally. People are being used, in my opinion, people are being used emotionally to drive up the value of what potentially is a settlement, a huge settlement in which the family will reap the benefit, driven by individuals who have a financial stake in this matter, who may not be related to Nolan Wells and may not even care about the young brother. I'm just be honest with you. That's how I feel, man.
Yeah, and that could be true, but even if it was true, the family deserves any justice that they can get.
Right,
so I'm not mad if that is the case, because look, fam, if you look at what's going on in Mississippi and you look at what's going on around this country, every time a black person is accused of murder, or even when a black person dies, especially when a black person dies, it don't matter if you're accused, if you are the accused or you are the victim. If you're black, they're going to start a smear campaign against you. These people have no empathy, no compassion whatsoever. Is something going on? The blood is tainted. The bloodline is tainted. I'm talking about, this is a shoe fit wear scenario. So obviously I'm not talking about all white people, because I got some real cool ass white friends. For real.
Come on, Willie.
But I'm talking about the ones who the shoe fit. If the shoe fit, lace it up. And it's a lot of them in Mississippi. We got them here too in Texas. We got.
Listen. I know. Listen, I have seen him multiple times on Willie D channel. Yes, I agree with you. He must be a friend. Where is that? He must be a friend. Willie D must be friends with Dennis Spurling. That's his name. Thank you so much. I was struggling because Dennis be playing with the words since a lawyer and tap dancing too. Let me tell you one thing. I agree. I have tried to watch this particular defense attorney, especially when it came to the Karmelo Anthony case. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But this particular video right here, I think he starts around this narrative around the 30-minute mark. And I'm trying to tell you, of course, the first time I watched it, I'm being honest with you. The first time I watched this whole entire video that Willie D put out, I was in my emotions. And then I had to turn it back on, push my emotions to the side as if I was someone in the legal justice system. And then I started thinking objectively. I said, well, hold on. This is the picture that's being painted, right? This is the picture that's being painted. So do y'all remember, I'm going to say at least about 2 weeks ago, well, come to find out the family can't do that. No, they can. They can't force the DA or the prosecution to listen to what I'm saying. The family cannot force the DA and the prosecution and the law enforcement officers to do their job. But what they can do, and this is what I said maybe 2 weeks ago, I said, now that they have laid Nolan and Xavier Wells to rest, I would like to see them retain a criminal lawyer. Y'all remember that? I know y'all remember that because I kept stressing that. I said I would want them to retain a criminal lawyer just for the visuals, right? Even if Ocean Springs DA, prosecutor, judge, medical examiner was dragging their feet, because I said, and I read to you the organs, regarding the organs, a judge can grant or approve a court order for the ME, from the ME to rush the organs up to DC. As of now, that hasn't happened. But who they have retained is civil lawyers. So if you're just coming in here, you have to go back to the beginning, because I just set the stage for this video here. Now, with saying all of that, let me start from the beginning, and I'm going to talk your way through it, because this is one time where he makes Mr. Dennis Spurling makes sense. And I told you, after I uploaded this particular intent to sue that we're going to read out here, it makes sense. This says nothing about criminal. They're going for civil suits, which is why Ben Crump is doing the things that he's doing. But let's go ahead and play the video again, and we're going to break it down.
On suspicion.
Hold on. Now listen to what he's saying. Listen. Even a broken clock, what they say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So hold on now. He made some sense now. I didn't want to accept it, but he made some sense.
Before you can arrest him. Clearly, you can be arrested before the indictment, before the charge, and you be held on suspicion. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I would like to. I know that having the report, the autopsy report, will be helpful. I'm not sure. But again, I'm going to go back to my gut feeling is telling me that this is a civil case. My gut feeling is telling me that Ben Crump and the parents, and Ben Crump is, we know him. He's dealt with death before a lot. He's dealt with the people up in Ferguson, and he knows how to talk to people. Hey, look, might as well get something good to come from this.
I agree. And as I stated before, when I uploaded this into AI and I said, based off the terminology, the legal terminology in this, does it seem like the parents is sent this from a criminal attorney and trying to pursue criminal charges, or if they have hired a civil legal firm and going after punitive damages, negligence, and all the other good stuff? AI say yes. Let's keep going. And you know what? At this time, I don't have any issues with it, because if Ocean Springs and the state of Mississippi, if they want to keep playing around, why not while you're in a waiting period for the autopsy and also for criminal charges to be brought against suspects? Because as of now, they don't have suspects. Might as well go ahead and pursue your civil suit. Hold on, let's go.
But
So
you know
his
what?
Mhm.
You're absolutely right that Ben Crump is, he is a civil attorney. He does know how to go get the bread. But I've never witnessed Ben Crump so involved in a criminal case, the criminal side of it. I've never seen him so dedicated to the criminal side of, because typically he just comes out and he makes the case. He brings a lot of attention to the case, because the cameras follow Ben everywhere he goes. Yeah. So if Ben Crump starts talking, you better believe somebody gonna be recording. So Ben Crump, he's one of the best that does what he does. He is a person who can go out there and get you financial justice, right?
He's a rainmaker. Yeah, he brings in the case. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
but I've never seen him this heavily involved in the criminal side. And speaking on that side of the case. So
and that is why I'm convinced that this is not a criminal case, because nobody spends $10,000 to $30,000 of their law firm's money on a criminal case. He didn't spend that money on the autopsy. Colin Kaepernick did. Okay, but then the transport from the body from DC from Mississippi to DC plus the autopsy, that's $15,000. Okay, so let's say you don't spend $10,000 on a criminal case. That's going to be on, if the family can't afford it, then that's something that the state needs to deal with. And so again, I'm going to go back to my position, and I hate to, and I'm just be honest with you, man. It seems to me it's a lot of people and who come into these situations and they get the public involved. They purposely throw out a lot of misinformation. They get people emotionally involved.
Now, this is the part where I'm definitely about to push back. Listen, I don't care what the motive is or what the intent is. I would want any lawyer, any case, especially injustice case, any suspicious killing of black men, black women, black boys, black girls, anybody in the black community, I don't care who the lawyer is. I would want the lawyer to get out there on Front Street with all of the 1,000,000 cameras and tell exactly what is going on behind the scenes. So I don't think listen, that's his opinion about potentially one side using the black community to garner up all of this emotional stress and interactions and everything. It's still good energy. Our energy makes history change. So listen, being Crump, whoever the other lawyers are, upcoming lawyers, always inform the black community of some of the details regarding this case, because I want to know exactly the details that you can tell the public so we can expose everything behind the scenes. So I don't agree with this statement here. I'm gonna go ahead and let him speak, but I don't agree with this because energy and emotion changes things along with intelligence. It does change things, because if we wasn't passionate about that, we wouldn't care. We wouldn't care. As of now, just regarding the Karmelo Anthony case, we've been sitting down with one another for 52 days straight. And I'm also already working on my content for the Karmelo Anthony case for tomorrow, day 53. So that's his opinion. That's his opinion. Now, let me tell you one thing. It's funny that he said this, right? And like I said, this is open forum, so his opinion is his opinion. However, if a certain situation happened to him and his loved ones or somebody he know, what would be one of the first things? Even Officer Tatum, let's put it on him, because I can actually stomach him more than Officer Taylor. Let's say even with Officer Taylor or defense attorney Stallings right here, if anything happened to anybody in their family, or if they feel like they done got their end card, y'all know what I'm talking about. That end card, what's the first thing they gonna want to do? They gonna want the black community to rally around them for the justice that they're seeking. So that's why I said I want to pause, because I agree with everything that he said. But I'm trying to tell you, everybody get their wake-up call one day. And what's the first thing they go do? Go to social media and try to get the black community attention and emotion, because they know that it's a powerful frequency that we hold. But let's keep going. So this part of his this audio clip, I'm gonna take with a grain of salt. Okay, let's keep going.
And that helps them drive up the settlement value of the case. I don't do that.
So basically, he's saying that Ben Crump is using the black community to drive up the settlement case that the family, Nolan's family, you might as well say Karmelo Anthony family, because Ben Crump is already working on the civil suit behind the scenes for the Karmelo Anthony civil rights violation that Collins County have did. And Ben Crump, we all know Ben Crump is also working with the Tyler Smith family, also Daniel Irvin family. So yeah, get your money, especially for the injustices. And then also, if all of these counties want to go ahead and take their sweet time, because he will make a valid point. When it comes to murder cases, when it only should take 6 months, 6 months, right? But you know, some of them, they do take a long time to go to court. I don't understand it. Even O.J. Simpson, it only took him 6 months, and we went over that timeline. It only took 6 months for O.J. Simpson to be accused of what he didn't do to be in a courtroom. But let's keep pushing.
But I'm just speaking honestly with you. It's a lot of people. If you can generate enough publicity about a situation, you could make something that's mundane and possibly trivial into a big deal. I mean,
isn't law enforcement doing the same thing?
Thank you, Willie.
I mean, we can
from day one. Hold on,
Thank
day
you.
one. The sheriff, John Leadbetter, said we don't suspect foul play. He hadn't examined the body. He hadn't talked to any independent investigators or state investigators. He hadn't seen any pictures. He just said we don't suspect foul play, just like that.
I recall that, and I do think that was premature. He'd probably been better and see that again, this is Mississippi. And I don't want anybody to think that black people, when we hear things happen in Mississippi, we're not suspicious. Because Mississippi there are kids born in 2002 who grew up in Mississippi with the Confederate flag. And so Mississippi has a horrible history. So for all the people who are saying black people are overreacting, black people are this, and you guys are just biting into the conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. It's Mississippi. I get that. And when we hear about sheriffs in Mississippi and mayors in Mississippi, when we start talking about governors in Mississippi, I understand why black people are upset. So in my humble opinion, that sheriff probably should have kept his mouth shut because he didn't help the situation by totally just blowing off.
Oh, no. So this is second part. So, when I play the videos again, this is to give my commentary to break it up. Oh, no. Whatever his name is. Oh, my, so they're going to call his name. I forgot his name. It sounded one of them hillbilly names. But you know who I'm talking about? The sheriff in Ocean Springs. Oh, yes, he did have this case. Oh, yes, he did have this case. Now, he probably didn't help it on a criminal. Now, he helped it also. But this is what I'm saying. Because the sheriff put his foot in his mouth without knowing the facts of what he even did his job. See, this right here is definitely going to help the Nolan Wells family to go ahead and sue Ocean Springs County. And also, if the medical examiner, she belongs to the state of Mississippi. She's licensed under the state of Mississippi. Oh, yes, that sheriff, when he said what he said, even though it was very distasteful, he didn't know what he was talking about. It was even barely 24 hours. 24 hours. He said he didn't expect no foul play. Oh, yes, he did help the case. He helped the case for Nolan Wells and his family. Let's keep going. Talk right now. Talk right.
Young black man who disappeared and then turned out dead under mysterious circumstances. He didn't help the situation.
Yes, he
Sometimes
did.
Silence is the better part of discretion.
No.
That said, okay,
hold on.
If we do find,
and with that said, just like the Metcalfs, Jeff Metcalf, just like Hunter Metcalf, just like U.S. Pat Fallon, just like Texas AG Ken Paxton, when they got out there, well, Ken ain't said nothing, but Ken knows the Jeff Metcalf, but you know where I'm going. Oh, when they open up their mouth, oh yes, they helped the Karmelo Anthony, all of the pending future civil suits. Let them keep talking. Let them keep talking. No. Come on, Mississippi. Don't you see how Mississippi, everybody done got quiet? Everybody done got quiet in Mississippi. Ain't nobody talking in Mississippi because they know everything they have said in public is admissible in court, especially when it comes to a civil lawsuit. Oh, let them keep talking. Let them keep talking.
Find out that this is actually has always been about a lawsuit and somebody trying to line their coffers. I think the public would be disappointed, and I'm just saying that I think you should people of the public should set yourself up because this is what it is, and you have to recognize that you're being used emotionally.
No,
people are being used.
Listen, ain't nobody came to our door and said we had to go stomping for Karmelo Anthony, Nolan Wells, Daniel Irvin, Tyler Smith. It's going to be for Daryl Lowry. Nobody has said you got to do this. No, we took it upon ourselves to stand up for all of these families that needed our help. So, hey, if all of these families, and when all of these families get they just due regarding monetary justice, because it seemed like in all these cases they're going to get monetary justices first because hey, they're going to slow walk all of the. I can't say that they shouldn't slow walk the murder cases. But in the case of Nolan Wells, they don't even have a suspect. They haven't even a public acknowledged suspects. But nah, I don't feel like I'm being used. I don't feel like I'm being used talking about none of these cases.
In my opinion, people are being used emotionally to drive up the value of what potentially is a settlement, a huge settlement, in which the family will reap the benefit.
So,
driven by individuals who have a financial stake in this matter, who may not be related to Nolan Wells and may not even care about the young brother. I'm just be honest with you. That's how I feel, man.
Yeah, and that could be true, but even if it was true, the family deserves any justice that they can get. So I'm not mad if that is the case, because look, fam, if you look at what's going on in Mississippi and you look at what's going on around this country, every time a black person is accused of murder, or even when a black person dies, especially when a black person dies, it don't matter if you're accused, if you are the accused or you are the victim. If you're black, they're going to start a smear campaign against you. These people have no empathy, no compassion whatsoever. Is something going on? The blood is tainted. The bloodline is tainted. I'm talking about, this is a shoe fit wear scenario. So obviously I'm not talking about all white people, because I got some real cool ass white friends, for real. But I'm talking about the ones who the shoe fit. If the shoe fit, lace it up. And it's a lot of them in Mississippi. We got them here too in Texas. We got.
All right, good. And so just to let you know, I did some things behind the scenes. Please expect a smaller crowd, hopefully tonight, because I did some things behind the scenes, because I definitely want it to be more definitely of a more of an open forum. I want to be able to get through all of the contents and comments tonight, because I did it like that way on purpose. So be happy that the number is small tonight. It would definitely be chaotic tonight. Now let's keep going to the second one. First of all, hold on, let me go ahead and open up the comments. Let me go ahead and get all y'all comments out of the way before I play the second one. Bright evening, Tony and Chad. I know we can call in to talk about sports, so my conversation is, how much do college makes on their top athletes? Probably more. You know this right here. Yes, this is open forum, so you can talk about anything. Now, Jordan Seaton, when Coach Prime was there, I'm gonna say the second year, Jordan Seaton was one of the first, or he was the top recruit across the nation. So a lot of big schools wanted Jordan Seaton, but he decided to go to Boulder with the University of Colorado and Coach Prime to play with Shedeur Sanders. Well, after Shedeur Sanders left, a lot of schools, they came and they went to Boulder, Colorado, and they just started picking all of the players from Coach Prime. Now, last year, when it happened last year at Boulder, and I'm going to get to it, when it happened last year at Boulder, I'm going to say that Coach Prime, he lost about 35 or 40 players. I mean, they was picking them up like going out to the tree of the great bush of the scuffernum bush and just started picking all his players. They took advantage of him at the time. But I will say this, God is good. He lost about 30, but he got about 60 that wanted to be there, besides the money that the Colorado or Buffalo couldn't offer. So they started picking up the players. It's because Colorado was able to give the players NIL deals, but of course those amounts was nothing compared to what the bigger schools could play. So Jordan Seaton, so let's just say Jordan Seaton was probably making, let's say a rough number, about 700, 800,000 a year up in Boulder, Colorado with Coach Prime. But when LSU came, I'll probably give him out, let's say $1.5 million just for a young man to play 17 weeks of football. You see what I'm saying? But when Coach Prime was going through his medical situation last year, and Coach Prime, yes, Deion Sanders, almost passed away last year because of his bladder cancer. He almost passed away. A lot of schools, big schools came and they started picking up his players. So LSU came and got Jordan Seaton, and instead of getting paid $1.5 million, they gave him $6 million. So yes, even though these schools are giving these players, I mean, millions per year, they're bringing in, we're talking about, they're bringing in astonishing numbers. Let's say just with tickets and just with television revenues, that's where they make a lot of their money. And also with merchandise and ticket sales, you know. So let's just say if they got 85 players, and let's just say if you put all the NIL money together, let's say it equals about, let's say $40 million. But these schools are making $500 million a year. So those NIL deals, yes, it's good money, but it's nothing to the schools. It's nothing to the schools. You even got certain you got certain retired NFL players donating to schools to get these players to come play for their alma mater. We're talking serious money. We even, regarding these NILs, you even got private funds, firms and investment companies throwing money at the school just to get these players in, right? But yeah, they're making money. You might as well say easy, $500 million a year, easy. So if you're paying 85 football players, let's say 30 to 40, let's say $60 million. Nah, it's not even that, y'all. Because if the quarterback is the highest position, and let's say a quarterback is getting, let's say the highest one this year, last year was about, let's say $7 million, and then you got everybody under that that's getting paid less than that. Let's just go ahead and give a school $30 to $40 million. They're still making $500 million. So yeah, the schools can afford it. They actually can afford it more. But you're right, Bunny. Yes, I went around the mountain to give you the answer. Yes. Next, I think the state finished autopsy is being held so they can take it to the grand jury, which is true. Yes. Once they fail to indict, then the state would turn it over again and say it's done and over. That is true. That is true. And I'm pretty sure that people is talking to the family, right? And they say, hey, based off this timeline, they're doing this, they don't have any suspects. We know that something happened, but they're trying to cover up. So guess what? At this point, we're going to focus on the civil suit right now. And then once we hear from the grand jury, that's when we'll pursue criminal charges. But at least we are already working on the piece to get your punitive damage and your negligence and all the other things that we're going to discuss in this letter here. So I agree with you, Bunny. I agree with you. And Justine, didn't I tell you weeks ago that when that autopsy was going to be finished, I said they ain't going to tell the public what's in the autopsy on purpose? I'm trying to tell you. I also think a discussion on what's being held presented to a grand jury in a case like Karmelo Anthony going hard for indictment without real facts, just tailored facts to secure. Right. Now, isn't it funny? Mississippi actually has more concrete evidence that something, right, they could indict the suspects on, right? They actually got concrete evidence, even circumstantial evidence. And Collins County, they had to, y'all already know, they had to manipulate a lot of things behind the scenes to even get a guilty charge for Karmelo Anthony. So that's why I said it depends on the DA. Be careful who you vote in the office regarding the sheriff, the DA, the prosecutor. All of this is on the midterm ballots, y'all. Be careful. November is not just for your senator and your House representative. No, it's for your mayor, your sheriff, commissioner, who else? Sheriff, prosecutor, DA. Y'all better watch it. If you don't know, now you know now. But I agree with you, Bunny. Take the grand jury for Nolan Wells. Are they looking at suspects to indict? As of not one suspect has been questioned. Not one suspect has been announced or named. Or is it being looked at an unknown death with a indictment final decision? That's the one. I guess they called it a no bill. He's about to talk about that in the next clip, okay? But I got you. I would also like to ask, wasn't it frowned upon illegal years ago to pay college students before they came? You know it was. They caught up so many of our young black men, kicked them out of school, took their scholarships because they took a pizza or they took a coat or the agent put their mother on a plane so they could see them one time before they graduate. Now that has totally changed. I think the NIL deals has been part of all collegiate sports, not just football, at least for about three to 4 years. And also in Mississippi, let me tell you one thing about Mississippi. Mississippi is one of those states where they want the young black college athletes to come in, especially the football athletes to come in. They actually came out, I'm going to say a few months ago to say, hey, if you come to Mississippi, you don't have to pay tax on your NIL deals. No lie. That's what they said. Hold on. That's what they said. Mississippi is one of the states, the NIL money is getting so good and they're trying to get players to come to Mississippi to bring that money in-house. They said all NIL athletes, if you come to Mississippi and you get your NIL deal, no tax. If you don't believe me, Google that while I go through these comments right here. But yes, it was yes. For the longest time, yes. Do you think certain athletes in college football and basketball are exploited when brand deals are made during the climb in the career? Back in the past, yes. Now, no. If you are the right caliber of athlete they're looking for, because remember, I said Shedeur Sanders, when he got drafted last year in the 5th round, his whole entire contract for 4 years was only $4.6 million. So when you did the math, that was over a little bit of $1 million. When you got quarterbacks in college that's making $6, $7, or $8 million 1 year. So nah, the players are not being exploited in college like they were before. Let me tell you how good it got so in college. We had players declining to go to the NFL combine because they wanted to stay in college to get that money. That's how much money, and that's how good these NIL deals for these athletes. They decline to go into the NFL. They want to stay in college because they're getting more money in college than the NFL. No, they're not being exploited no more. No. Matter of fact, they had so many that stayed in this year. The NCAA had to come up with new policies and say you can only stay in college for 5 years because the NFL started crying like, oh my gosh. No, we need them fresh bodies to come out of college. So the NCAA, they changed their policy, I'm going to say about 2 or 3 months ago around the NFL draft, that now each player, you only can play in college for 5 years. 5 years. Tony, do you recall if the grand jury testimony in the Karmelo Anthony case was released? Was a grainy video shown today? You know what? I brought that up too, Bunny. I brought that up. Of course, I wasn't following the case at this time. I didn't even know that Karmelo Anthony, I didn't even know it was going to be a case. I thought this right here was just, what it was, self-defense in 2025 because the media stopped reporting on it. They didn't start picking it back up until he went back to trial, okay? So now that's the thing. That's going to be a kicker. If I can pull up that information, I will. And if the grand jury indicted Karmelo Anthony with that grainy video, I can't see that. But if they were, civil lawsuit, another civil lawsuit. So we can safely say this was fixed also. Or we already know that video was fixed because they said they altered the video. They said, even Collins County said they altered the video in order to protect the minors, remember? So they already confessed that they altered it. So that's why I say again, in the motion for a new trial, that judge, whoever that judge is, should ask for the original video. And this thing could actually be dismissed. Oh, and if it's dismissed like that, it definitely should be some criminal charges brought up on all of Collins County, the judge, the prosecutor, and the DA. Hey, how you doing, free Marcelo Jackson? How you doing? How you doing, Patricia Johnson? How you doing? What's up, SDP 1208? How you doing, Slim 081? Oh, they're gonna mean if you want to join, if you want to come up here, talk to me. Hit the screen. How you doing, Teresa? Good evening, Miss Tony. Good evening, chat. Free Karmelo. What's up, Justine? Hello, Tony Talks, mods, and chats. Hey, how you doing, Aries? Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm here, but going to the laptop. How you doing, MLM? How you doing? What's up, Lady E? Hello, Tony, and what's up, also mods? What's up, Betty Boop? Oh my gosh, Judge Tony Investors. Let me tell you one thing, y'all. I'm not going there with you. Hey, how you doing, Destin? Hello, Tony. Hello, Investors. Hey, how you doing, Pamela's Way? Hello, y'all. Free Karmelo. How you doing, Tano? Good evening, Pastor. I'm here. See, here you go. Playing again. I got all your emails, okay? What's up, Jackie? Hello, Tony Talks. Thank you, Free Karmelo. Anthony, yes. Don't forget tomorrow. Oh, I'm coming in with that commentary on that Nancy Grace. So please don't even pressure me. Don't put nothing in that in the chats about the Nancy Grace interview. I'm bringing that tomorrow because listen, I will fall victim and just start spilling out all my commentary. Just don't put me, don't bring it up. Do you think the whale's autopsy is being sent to the grand jury first? So when they find the death of right. Yes, it's sealed. I think they're also going to say this right here. They're going to say it here, I think. Do you think the whale's autopsy is being sent to the grand jury first? So when they find death unknown or indictments, made case closed. Yep. Then the parents get an autopsy. And also being Crump will they accept. And also listen, so let's just say the grand jury, right? Let's say the grand jury. I'm gonna hold that. Let's say the grand jury doesn't indict. I'm gonna have to do some research on that there. Because once they hire a criminal attorney and they own investigator and they look over the same autopsy and they see like, whoa, why the grand jury didn't indict anyone or didn't even indict anyone, it's gonna be funny. But I really think the autopsy, because Deion did why would you seal a drowning autopsy? Why would you seal a drowning autopsy? For real, y'all, let's think about this. Why would you seal a drowning autopsy? But I think they're going to indict. Now, since they don't have any suspects, I don't know who they're going to indict, but it would probably definitely force Ocean Springs Sheriff and their legal enforcement division to actually start doing their job. Wink, wink, but we shall see. Willie D must be friends with Dennis Spurling because Dennis be playing with the words. We read that one before. It's so sad. Anytime you think like the oppressor and agree, and assist the oppressor, it's never going to end well. I think being Crump has criminal lawyers on standby. Yet Nolan's mom says she will accept grand jury. Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Because y'all follow the case more than me. I think Ben Crump has criminal lawyers on standby, but yet Nolan's mom said she will accept grand jury findings, yet she don't want to do so. They would move forward with the next move. Okay. How you doing, Lady E? Thank you so much, Lady E. I'm here, Tony. I'm going to keep pushing, okay? Thank you, Lady E. The man reminds me of former Officer Tatum. Hey, how you doing, Destin? Willie trying to stomach this man, but he's trying to pick this man's brain. I agree. That's why I want Willie D to bring on a prosecutor. I want to, like a Nancy Grace, I want to hear from a prosecutor regarding all these cases, all the way down from Carmelo Anthony, all the way down to Daryl Lowry case. I want a prosecutor to answer all of these cases. Hit the like button for Tony. Yes. Go ahead and hit the 100 if y'all can tap on the 100 or the heart button. Willie D got this man back on the show. Come on with it. Don't do that. This has been an alternate to a criminal conviction in recent years. Civil lawsuits have less burdens of proof, facts, and cases are won for the family, facts, yet they have to be quiet afterwards. NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, facts, and it could be some conditions in there, but see, the family would have to make those conditions, right? But it could be a condition in the settlement agreement that criminal charges cannot be brought. So, Black community, everybody that's fighting for Nolan's well, I want to know your opinion. Would you be okay with that? If the family take these massive lawsuits that they're going to get from Ocean Spring, all of the parents, and including the state of Mississippi, would you be okay for that? Would you be okay if they took the lawsuits and agreed to not bring criminal charges to any of these parties and just walk away with their lawsuits? Black community, I want to hear from you. This attorney will help send you to Please like the screen. Come on. Hey, how you doing, Morgan? I need some Pepto-Bismol with the defensive turn. Oh my gosh. That's my drink along with my vest tonight. Come on, Tano. Come on. Hey, how you doing, Cutie Pie? Yes, I remember that, and we'll discuss. They have enough race to do. Sometimes with cases like this, if you can't get one thing, you take another. Come on with it, Tano. 6 in one hand and a half a dozen in the other. Come on with it. The family would need a criminal attorney when the time comes. Facts. And guess what? They go ahead and get all their pending lawsuits and win those settlement agreements. They will have all the money in the world to pursue criminal cases, right? But my thing is, my only concern is, what if in the settlement agreement, there's a condition says you cannot file criminal charges or cannot pursue criminal charges? Hold on. Conditions of a settlement agreement. I need to research that. Ben Crump, JS stuff. I can't read that one, Tano. Just saying. I can't read that one. The family needs our help in keeping with the cases alive. Facts. This is the reason why all the cases are still alive. Come on with it. Come on with it, Aries. The main reason for a civil suit, I believe, I heard the family and Crump, is to preserve evidence and prevent. We're finna read that over here. Phone companies and law enforcement from destroying the evidence. That is true. That is true. And tomorrow, along with the Nancy Grace information, I got some cybersecurity and forensics information that we have to take in consideration, because it may take, I ain't gonna say that, but I got some information for you. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Tomorrow, 8:45, tomorrow, 8:45 p.m. But I agree with you. I agree with you. And that could have been one way to circumvent and save time with the process, because it could take, as you see, it's almost been 30 days and nobody has been questioned, indicted, no suspects. So yes, this is one way that they could circumvent that long out drawn process that Ocean Springs is not even trying to entertain, by filing a civil suit and saying you got to preserve X, Y, and Z. So hey, it is what it is. Hey Tony, hey, how you doing, Boozy? Oh, fun size Barbie, gotcha. Hey, how you doing? I believe Ben Crump has the heart of a civil rights worker like Martin Luther King. His Martin Luther King is coming out. Yes, I don't have not 1 ounce of issues with Ben Crump. Do what you gotta do. Tatum, race bait, Tatum. I got what you're saying, Patricia. Yes, all of the so-called coons always come back home. Come on with it. For help in times of their needs. Come on with it. You caught that. Sue them all. Rest in peace, Johnny Cochran. Yes. This raccoon lawyer don't need to be trying to add up at the right. Stay out of the family money and stay out of Ben Crump's pockets. We ain't asking you, Dennis, for nothing. We just want your legal advice. We don't want you to add nothing on there. You don't have to put nothing out. Oh, you got to go ahead and get the public, the black community ready for the downfall of the disappointment. Disappointment how? If this black family in Mississippi is going to walk away with $100 or $200 million when you put all these lawsuits together, how is that a disappointment? How is that a disappointment when they got other kids that's going to raise up and going to get access to this generational money? This type of money changes black family and everybody else involved. What? There's no disappointment. That's what we're here for. What? I don't get this. And he knows damn well if it was somebody in his family, he would be going to that same chair, that same camera, that same keyboard, hit live, go live, just to ask the black community to rally around him and his family. Stop playing, y'all. Stop playing. Oh, let me see here. This raccoon lawyer don't need to be trying to add up the family. Right, okay. What about fine and confine? What, Patrick? What about fine and confine? You got to add a little bit more to that. I unsubscribed this. I saw his YouTube button behind his head right here. I didn't know. I didn't know he had a. I didn't know he had a YouTube page. I see what you said. Ooh, yeah, that's good. The room is still small. The room is still small. I wonder why they are not releasing the autopsy results, because it's still, here it is, because it's still a pending investigation, even though they say it ain't nothing here to see, right? They say it's nothing here to see. They say it's nothing here to see. They say it's still a pending investigation when it's just supposed to be a drowning accident. You see where I'm going with that? But they said the only time that it will be open is for the grand jury. And I'm thinking if the grand jury says don't bill, I'm thinking that we would never know what the official autopsy would be for Mississippi. But that means, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Eureka. Hold on. 1 hour later. Hold on. It came to me. This is actually good, Black community. This is actually good. If Mississippi has finished their autopsy, right? If they say they have completed their autopsy, that means that they should be done with the organs, right? They said this means they should be done with the organs, right? Do you know where the organs should be going next to? Washington, D.C. for, I forgot his name. I wrote down his name, for the second ME to finish up his autopsy, y'all. This is actually good. Y'all go ahead and put a 100. Go ahead and hit that 100 button. This is actually pretty good, because that means that Mississippi is done with all of the organs, right? Now, to the second ME autopsy medical examiner, the first thing you do when you get those organs, do a DNA test to make sure these are actually Nolan Wells organs. The brain, the stomach, even the throat tissue, all of that. Well, Tony talks vested up. Well, what if there is no tissue left on the neck cavity? Well, it's something called dementias. All the autopsy, the medical examiner has to do is take whatever that throat box is, whatever the size of that throat box is. Let's say it's all skeleton and bones, there's no tissue. All they got to do is place it in there to see if it match. Y'all remember the game Operation? Seriously. That's his name, Leadbetter. That's his name, Leadbetter. I'm wondering why they're not releasing. Okay, yeah, Leadbetter. Ooh, isn't the complete autopsy finished? They just got finished today. With all the missing, that's what I just said. Fun size. I said a lot without even finished reading everything. Yeah, now that they have completed the autopsy today, they should be able to go ahead and rush those organs up there to Washington, D.C. We should see. So the next thing we should hear this week, at least confirmation that Washington has received the organs of Nolan Wells. Leadbetter, that's the name. Queen absolutely put his foot in his mouth with that smirk on his face. Mississippi still burning. I am no way. That's right. There's no way to be disappointed in this right here. Hold on. Let me go ahead and respect my brother Willie D. Come on with it. Pastor Tony. Maybe sometimes we could do a review of the movie Annabellum. Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Kept wondering why the Lord kept making me watch. That was deep. Ooh, yeah, Janelle Monáe, she played that movie. That was deep. That was deep. Let's go ahead and let's see what this case is going to do, and Karmelo and Anthony especially, and we can try to make that happen. You know, NFL season is coming up, but we'll see if we can make that happen. Okay. Only a raccoon would think, yeah, it's all about the money. Come on, and you a lawyer talking about these families only, we need to be ready if it's only a civil suit. You a lawyer, you know how much he charges. Why they always watching Black community pockets, even if they're Black? Why? I don't understand it. The autopsy should be released to the mother. Oh, for Mississippi? Well, they say it's going to be sealed and only given to the grand jury, Justine. There are none so blind than those who will not see. Come on with it, Tano. Let's go, Miss Tony. What's up, Teresa? It's okay. This ain't being Crump's first rodeo. Facts. What's up? Hey, happy birthday, Den Danny. Happy birthday, Den Danny. Happy birthday, young man. You notice the cases are able to be manipulated more successful than not in districts that are predominantly white. That's what I was getting to the other night. That's exactly what I was saying the other night. That's why, remember, for a while, it was resistance, even for black men and black women to go into law enforcement and don those uniforms. That's what I was getting to other nights. In law enforcement and divisions and offices where you got a good mix of black men and women in those uniforms, they don't play this BS here. They don't play this BS here. Salute. Hey, how you doing? Run Tell That series. What's going on, young man? What's going on, young man? Oh my, I hope you've been seeing my replies on X. What's going on with your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work? Thank you so much. While they are targeting young black players because they have the most hardship and need to help their families. It's not target. Well, no, buddy. No, this ain't negative. They are making millions in 1 year. They're not targeted. Maybe I didn't express it the correct way, but families are retiring, which they shouldn't, but families are retiring because some of their collegiate sons are making paper, millions per year. So they ain't targeted, baby. They want them for the right reasons. Maybe I didn't express it well, but no. Families are being retired by their son in college. Don't even make it to the NFL. They're retiring. Now see how they did the corruption. This guy on Willie's show. This guy here. Okay. This guy is on the show intentionally gaslighting. He's pandering to a certain group, him. And just like who was the other defense attorney from yesterday? It's like, to me, when he talks around and this word salad and everything here, he's just going around. And like I said, he got me on this interview here because he was making a sense, and then he would insert things that just, oh gosh, just put a bad taste in my mouth. But he made some sense today. But it's like he's also marketing and trying to sell himself to the audience, right? For potential clients. Love to tap to gain the people's attention for opportunity selling their souls. Come on, Willie. Hey, how you doing, Willie? Willie McCall. Yes, I agree with you. LSU offered Jordan Seaton $4 million and Shador NIL. No, I thought they offered Jordan Seaton $6 million. Check that, Justine. I thought it was $6 million. But do you see this even $4 million? $4 million. But I think they offered him $6 million, Justine. And Shador NIL earnings between $6.5 and $10 million to the highest pay ever in college. Do y'all see this? And this was per year. Per year. Per year. Per year in college. Families are retiring while their son play college football. And I hope they're saving it. Now, one thing regarding Coach Prime, he definitely gives them financial literacy. How you save your money. This is what you're supposed to do with your money. This is life. Everybody's not going to make it to the NFL. Save your money. So that's one thing he is doing right up there in Boulder. Tony having pizza right now. Okay. Happy birthday again, Vesta. Happy birthday again. Hey, Tony, how you doing, Miss Lady T? How you doing, Vestas? But a lot of civil lawsuits bring on criminal cases. Right. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead and get your money first. And then if they want to slow walk a criminal, oh, y'all aren't warmed up now. But just go ahead and get your money first in all of your legal lawsuits, civil lawsuits. And then after that, if they want to drag their feet 2 to 3 years from now, at least you're living comfortably. You already got your punitive damages. You living nice. You already got your retain your criminal lawyer, and you just waiting on Mississippi to do their job. Hearing somebody say they were going to sue Nancy Grace. No, I heard that too. I heard, was it Bart? I heard that too, that somebody was going to sue Nancy Grace. I want to see that one. I don't think they want to bring on that smoke. Okay, I want to see that one, honey. But this is a public, I can't say it's a trial, but this is a public case that's going on that has taken the nation and media by storm. What they want us to do? Not talk about it? They crazy. Well, Cassie got 20 mil, and they still brought charges on Puffy. See, there you go. See, There you go, Miss Lady T. See how we doing it over here? Tony Talks Vested Up. Do you see this? Exactly. Thank you for that. These cases are so heartbreaking to the families. I take the money settlement and go along with Street Justice. Justine, go to the corner. They do not take it because if they go criminal, they will automatically win. Oh, then do not take it because if they go criminal, they will automatically win the civil. Well, we'll see. See, because even in the OJ case, they went criminal. He lost. Well, OJ won, right? He was acquitted. But then the Goldman family went after OJ and they won the civil. So, but I also asked, I got it right here. Let's see here. Let me move this over here. See, I did my research now. All right. Here are the indicators. Let me go ahead and pull this up right here. Regarding, this is the information that I got. Hold on. Where's my screenshots? All right, here we go. Let me blow this up over here. So when I uploaded the letter, the parents' letter intent to sue, this is exactly what it came out with. Based on the visual, I hope you can see that. That banner is running across the screen. Based on the visual of this letter, it is more consistent with preparation for a potential civil lawsuit than a criminal prosecution. Here are the indicators. Letters of representation. This is a standard civil litigation notifying others that an attorney represents a family. That's one. Notice of duty to preserve evidence exploitation. This is a classic civil litigation tool. It puts recipients on notice that they must preserve documents, electronic storage systems, information, videos, communications, and other evidence because litigation is reasonably anticipated. Duty to preserve evidence. The letter express states that litigation is anticipated and instructs recipients to preserve evidence. I got to tell y'all one thing about this here. This letter of notice is common before filing a wrongful death, negligence, or civil rights lawsuit. Discussions of exploitation sanctions. This letters reference consequences such as adverse evidentiary ruling, sanctions, and negative inference if evidence is destroyed. But hold on, there's probably a catch 2020. Those are remedies commonly discussed in civil litigations, right? Now, does this mean there won't be a criminal investigation? The answer is no. A exploitation letter does not rule out a criminal investigation. The same underlying incident could involve a criminal investigation by law enforcement or prosecutors and a separate civil lawsuit by the family. Do y'all see this right here? My overview assessment, just from the letter alone, I would characterize its primary purpose. Hold on. Let me drop this comment down. Just for the letter alone, I would characterize its primary purpose as about 90 to 95% consistent with anticipated civil litigation, such as wrongful death, negligence, or civil rights claim, not a criminal charging document or not something that initiates a criminal prosecution. There you go. So even if they're going to go after Mississippi, Ocean Springs first with a civil lawsuit, it does not prevent them from pursuing criminal charges, but we have to see how that settlement agreement is worded, because maybe it could be a clause in there that prevents them to pursue criminal charges. But we shall see. But like I said, I'm gonna do my homework on that there, okay? Let me go back to the comments. Let's see here. All right. Just to let you know, I found some attorneys who assist bloggers and content creators. I would email those. Oh, listen, I already got my insurance. As a content creator, before I even had what 500 subs. I already had my attorney on standby. I pay my fees monthly. I'm good. But thank you for that. But I already got my attorney. I got my attorney. I pay for my business insurance. It's called business insurance every month. I got my attorneys, but thank you for that, Tano. Miss Lady T, yes, it does, and I'm praying that's what happened. They have been throwing out so many distractions and sending agents of chaos to play on our top. Come on with it. Yes, Pamela. You know what? Somebody said this. Willie D said this, and a lot of other content creators. They must think we back in 1940, 1950, 1960, 1970. Oh my gosh. Like we're going to go and run and hide in the corner. We don't live in those times, but see, mentally, that's where they go at. What? I got much as you, or more than you, and you threatening me because I'm a content creator? What? To report on the news. All content creators are doing is reporting on the news and giving our commentary. We ain't doing nothing no different than CNN or Fox News or ABC, NBC, or Fox News. I already said them, and any other BBC. What's the difference? Nah, the reason why they don't want to keep talking about this case, because you remember how he brought up and said, you know, be ready for, they playing with our emotions. They're getting us geared up and everything like that. Listen, that is what moves the needle. Commentary is what moves the needle. And anybody that don't like content creators, anybody on X who even post stuff on X, this is why they want us to be quiet, because we expose and we put that pressure on them. That's what they're feeling. The distractors and their agents, they feel that pressure. No, we ain't gonna stop talking. 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 Now, if they really want us to make it do what it do, we'll still be talking, and they won't even know that we talking about it. So let us go ahead. They don't want us to go. They don't want us to play it, do it right there in their face, and they don't know what we talking about. Because y'all know how we could do it. You know how we do it. Oh, I love a good challenge. I love a good challenge. I'm so serious with you. I love a good challenge. Let's keep going. Yes, Miss Pamela. He is another bootlicker, and has been so many kids dying under suspicious circumstances. It's crazy. Let me tell you one thing. Just like with Machador Sanders Vestas, on the other side of this channel, there are certain beat writers, sports commentators, and analysts on the other side that I cannot stomach, just like some of the people regarding these legal cases. But what I have to do, and what we have to learn to do, even with Fox News, remember I said, hey, you got to sit through Fox News because they be talking over there. I know it's hard, but they be talking over there. You just got to sit through, put the emotions to the side temporarily, and hear what they're saying, because they're telling on themselves. And they think that Black America don't go in their spaces to hear exactly what they're saying. So even with Fox News, I have to go over there, put my emotions to the side, and see what they're saying. They be telling everything over there. I'm just saying, don't watch it if you can filter it out, but they be talking over there. The dentist man ain't on our side, but he still dropped some nuggets that was good. So, and this is so if we see, we already know that this is proof. This is proof that the family is going to pursue civil lawsuit first. So what he said regarding that first clip I played, that was true. You see how I was like, oh, okay. So now I understand the letter. So, hey, he was right in this instance on what the family is doing, because Mississippi hasn't filed any criminal charges yet. So, hey, at least they just ain't sitting there. They putting pressure. Even these lawsuits will be pressure. And regarding the boat, I'm going to get to that next. Regarding the boat, whoever is the company that put the company that approved the insurance on that boat, they finna pay out a healthy settlement themselves. Say what you said, Tony. Yes. Remember, I think that's why they're trying to place Nolan Wells on the island or somewhere else and not on the boat. Because if he was actually unallowed on the boat, that means that the insurance company would have to pay out a settlement. That's why they're trying to get him off the boat. They're trying to place him somewhere else on where he lost his life versus that boat. Because the insurance company, just so think about this. So if somebody passed away in someone's car, right? The family of the driver can go after, the family of the one that passed away can go after the driver of the car and sue their insurance company. The same thing with a boat. That's why they're trying to get Nolan off the boat, so the insurance company don't have to pay out that money. And if they have to pay out that money, they may drop the insurances, or the cost of premium is going to go higher. So it's a reason for everything. I love Willie D, but this dude hates himself and want to be white so bad. 200. 100 DNA, SAP, lungs, neck, stomach. Come on with it. Dennis is just a hater and don't want to see black people succeed. He says what he says he does, but he speaks differently and talk about Melo. Yeah. Ooh, that's what the first time I came across him was the Karmelo Anthony case, and I couldn't finish watching none of his stuff. How's this case still pending yet? It is already for a grand jury. Still playing in our face. That is so-called black fatigue. Willie D gotta find another lawyer because this dude right here, clearly the check has cleared. This guy and also the other defense attorney. Who would hire his behind? Oh, I know he would. Right. Oh, I know it would be. Okay. Hey, you welcome, Danny. This game is like chess. You have to wait until the other side makes their move first. Come on with it. When HBCUs were starting, they were not allowed to start medical or law schools. So this is how systematic racism is started to impact our communities negatively. Thank you for that. I didn't know that, Bunny. Now I see why. Okay. No wonder it seemed like they're ahead of us regarding all of these cases and constitutional rights and everything. But we catching up, though. We catching up. Dennis think it's still 1970s. I'm late, but I'm here, family. How you doing, Rachel? No, the lawyer that is talking is only promoting himself. Come on with it. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. They would mess around with Nancy and make a criminal. Come on with it. Yes. And Nancy would come out of retirement. Nancy Grace would come out of retirement just to help prosecute this case. Oh my God. Why they're trying to wake up giants across both communities. There's less you have to prove in civil than criminal facts. If they deal with Nancy, everything is going to fade to the black. It's going to roll. That's what I'm saying. Why are you trying to have her come out of retirement, renew her license, do all the steps to get reaccredited, and probably she probably go take the whatever she need to do to get licensed to prosecute in Mississippi just to handle this case. Listen, targeting can be okay, gotcha. If the intention is to help black players target, get in more black quarterbacks. So if they target you to support your platform, Tony, do you accept? Yeah, I got you. I got you now. I got you. Remember, OJ lost the civil, but the officer charged. Right. Wish he would have been did this. Well, hold on. Wish he would have been did this cause. Once they receive it, they cannot delete or destroy the evidence. So I'm glad you brought that back up. Now look at the date of this right here. The date of this is July the 20th, right? So this is actually the date that I'm about to say Karmelo. Nolan West was laid to rest. Okay. Now, why is this date is significant? Why am I bringing this up? So when all the recipients received this letter on this particular date, that means if they was destroying anything, they had to stop. Now, between the 4th and the 19th of July, they could have did anything with the evidence. Now, I wish that the family, and I know they had to worry about his body and laying him to rest and had to prepare for the funeral, but between the 4th and the 19th, whatever they did with the evidence, they were not legally bound to preserve anything at that time, which is why I also think they were dragging their feet and not talking to these suspects, not doing cadaver dogs, search the boat and all that other stuff. All the evidence between the 5th and the 19th, whatever they did with it, they were not legally bound to preserve that evidence in a matter of those, 15 days. I hate to break it to you. Now, can it still be found? Yes. Yeah, even the digital media. I'm going to bring that up tomorrow. Even the digital media that they think that they removed, it's still there. The cloud providers, all that information is still there. Now, regarding the boat, that's a different situation because it was cleaned the night of, right? But we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. I'm still here listening, just driving. Okay, Teresa. Okay, Pastor, show you're right. Come on with it. Come on with it. I preface my comments with allegedly, in my opinion, it appears to me, I feel that, and from my perspective, just to name a few. Come on with it. Allegedly, plus it was 3 different boats, and word is the operator of the phone is related to one of the family's clock. It got you, Miss Lady T. The captain of the boat broke. We finna come on. Okay, hold on. I got 3 more. 3 more. I got that. Listen, he about to bring that up, y'all. He's about to bring it up. So the clip that I just played came to the end of the video. The clip I'm about to play is at that 30-minute mark. Okay, so listen to what he got to say. This is when I got mad, and I had to replay it again just to put my emotions aside. Hey, yo, Nancy Grace find redemption for Karmelo blindside blunders. Hey, how you doing, Flo? How you doing? Hey, yo, mate. Nancy Grace find redemption for the Karmelo Anthony blindsided blunders. I want her to come back and apologize for what she said about Karmelo because Jeff Metcalf used that woman. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring that interview up tomorrow because we already know that I'm going to talk about the Tatum interview, right? But I promised y'all weeks ago that we was going to play the Nancy Grace and Jeff Metcalf interview over here. So we're going to do that tomorrow too. So y'all make sure y'all get ready now. Make sure y'all get ready tomorrow. You know, now you know it's bad when the white folks are calling out failed football players, fake officer, black coon Tatum. Fact, yes. And I heard he started to fold a little bit. After the way that Nancy Grace didn't I tell y'all, do not influence me, so I don't have to talk about this case. Either way, whether you claim foul, civil or criminal, it's still going to bring discovery on all parties. That's what we want, is the discovery. And depositions be here. They get to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Come on with it, Tano. Blood is still in the boat somewhere. They missed it. Listen, let me tell you one thing. The only way blood is not on that boat, if they had to, let me tell you one thing. The only way, I will say this, the only way that blood is not on that boat, if they took the serial number off that boat and got an identical boat and put it on a new boat, because it's still there, even if the smallest, it's still there. Now, if they say, oh, he had a nosebleed, oh, this happened, well, why you didn't mention that earlier? Oh, they could say, oh, he hurt his toe, he did have a pinch of blood, or, whatever, we were just wrestling on the boat, they're going to come up with something like that, but blood is still there. Hey, how you doing? Thank you, the Knowledge Nook B5Y. Thank you so much. Oh, I think I saw you in the comments today. Thank you so much for going under my videos and putting those comments in there. Thank you so much. Welcome, new member to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge, where you're going to get football and legal analysis all in one, okay? Please remember, investors, all skin folks, ain't kin folks, facts. Let's go ahead and do this right. Come on to the stage, Dennis. Come on to the stage.
Attorney, but when you look at civil rights, that falls under personal injury. You see what I mean? And I know myself well enough to know that you're not going to spend anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 on a case that you're not going to get a return on. That's just too much money. And so now let's throw some factors out there. What else do we know about this boat trip? What we know about this boat trip is, number one, it happened on the 4th of July in Mississippi on open water. There were young men and young women, a lot of them under the age of, here's the key number, 21. Mm-hmm. And we know that in order to drink or consume alcohol in the United States, you have to be over the age of 21. Now, what else do we know? We know that there was only one way on to that island, and that is through a boat ride. And we also know that there's indications that there was alcohol involved in that, okay? So what is the first thing we know about alcohol consumption? Anybody drinking alcohol? the first thing it does is impair your judgment.
Yeah.
So now you got an underage person who didn't buy the alcohol himself, I'm assuming. Okay, we don't know that for sure. But let's say they didn't buy the alcohol themselves. The alcohol was provided by somebody who either owned the boat or was a captain of the boat, and they saw them drinking. And let's just assume worst case scenario that the operator of the boat was also drinking. So now you gotta, and I'm just putting this fact pattern together, and these are the facts that we're looking at. You got a drunk boat captain driver. You got people who provided these people alcohol, all of which are underage. And now the question pops up is, how did this young boy end up dead? Clearly we have bad judgment involved. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, does alcohol consumption of underage people lead to bad judgment and poor decision making? Okay, so now that all goes back to, well, who gave them the alcohol? And was there a proper head count done when they left the island? And why would you leave somebody on the island and there's only one way off the island? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. So you're looking at potential federal, maritime law violations. You look at Mississippi State Court law violations, and the questions that I have to ask, and the question that Ben Crump is asking is, who's at fault for this? Because if we talking about a boat, then we talking about an insurance policy. And typically people who own boats have money. So you're looking at not just a multi-million-dollar judgment, but you're looking at holding somebody responsible for wanton reckless disregard for the safety of others, which may mean punitive damages.
Right.
So this is what I'm looking at. And this is the first thing that I saw. Now, again, let me say something that's going to sound cruel. It's going to sound heartless. Okay. And I don't want to offend anybody, but I have to speak to people like, I'm be honest with you. Okay. If I'm a plaintiff lawyer, I don't want this to be a murder case, because ain't no money in murder. Murder is an intentional act. I want there to be negligence. I want there to be gross negligence, because insurance companies are responsible for the gross negligence, and they're responsible for the negligence of their insured. They are not responsible for the intentional acts of others. Because if this was an intentional unalivement or killing of the person of another, there's a policy provision that says we're not responsible for that, so you can't hold them responsible for that. They literally would point to the empty chair of the person who gets convicted. So if I'm if I'm Ben Crump and I'm the family, I'm praying to God that this grand jury comes back and says they no-bill the case. So then we can go after we can get what they've done, and we can go after the people who took him over there in that boat, served him alcohol, participated in that alcohol, and left him on that island by himself. That's what I'm looking for. I know it sounds cruel. I apologize how it sounds, but this is why you bring me on the broadcast. This, to me, when you start sending out spoilage letters saying we want you to preserve all the text message, all the video footage, all the recording, that means you're building a civil case. And the last thing you want to do is get held up in a criminal proceeding because you take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before you get a conviction. And so anytime you're trying to get information from the Mississippi authorities, they're going to say something like, oh, well, we have a law enforcement privilege. We're not going to honor your subpoena right now. You got to wait till we finish. So now you file a lawsuit and you just stuck in limbo until they finish the criminal investigation. They want to make sure this thing goes forward. Look, man, the young brother's dead. Okay? He's already dead. Okay?
Now, okay, we're going to play this again, but see, I got an issue with his tone right there. I have an issue with his tone. That young man, we understand that he has transpired, but Lee, still, from what I know, he was a good son. He was a good-hearted young man. Let's not talk about him like this, Dennis. Even though it's not your son, let's not talk about Nolan like this. Come on with it.
I'm telling you, man, I'm in the pain business. I'm in the death business. I've handled 4 or 5 wrongful death cases over the past 4 or 5 years. It takes a toll on you. But this is the reality of it. There's no money in murder. There's money in negligence. If he died because somebody negligently got him, left him in a situation where he couldn't make a good decision, he ended up on an island somewhere and he died. The question is, was there a proper count before they left? Was the captain drunk? Did you know where he was? Who was with him? Who saw him? Who's responsible? Who has some money? And that
is why I could not be a civil attorney like that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that. Like for me, I ain't even that smart.
Oh, I can do both.
I'm not that smart. I just be like, I want whoever killed him. I don't give a damn. If there's some financial justice that's attached to that, fine, we'll go after that. But first and foremost, I want this uncivilized mutt who is responsible for the death of my loved one. That's what I want first and foremost. So whatever justice looks like, that's what I want. If justice is negligence, then give me that, and then we get more money. But if justice is getting this uncivilized mutt who killed my loved one, I'm not letting that fucker walk. I'm getting his ass. I gotta get him. I gotta have that, man. I gotta get it. And if I don't get a penny after that, man, but you know how good I would sleep, man. I'm cool, bro. Because at some point, the way I see it, man, how much money do you need to be able to maintain your integrity? How much money? Well, how much does integrity cost? I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sit back and say, well, we know he murdered him, but if we can prove negligence, I'd rather prove negligence and let him slide on the murder because we're gonna make a whole lot more money if negligence is involved. See, I'm not that smart. I just wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I'd have to. I want his head. Whoever is responsible for killing my loved one, I want him. And I'm coming to get him, man. And I'm gonna use everything that I got to get him.
Well, how do you know Nolan Wells isn't responsible for his own death?
Did y'all see where I cut it right there? Do y'all see where I cut it? Can y'all believe he was doing so well and I had to cut it right there? We're going to address that, but let's go ahead and do what we normally do over here. That video was only about 6 minutes. Let's go and start again so I can break it down and we can talk about it. But for him to ask that question at the end of all of his legal advice, because it was making sense. Do you see? I'm gonna let it go. The buffoons. See, when lawyers do this right here, they appealing to all audience, right? And he had to throw that in there just in case this video is seen in front of, let's say, a potential white client, right? So he has to make himself seem like he's going to be fair, which that should be all lawyers, but we know that's not the case, especially not in the Karmelo Anthony case, right? They saw color. But what he's doing is he's pandering. He's pandering. He didn't have to say that. Let's start again.
Rights attorney, but when you look at civil rights, that falls under personal injury. You see what I mean? And I know myself well enough to know that you're not going to spend anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 on a case that you're not going to get a return on. That's just too much money. And so now let's throw some factors out there. What else do we know about this boat trip? What we know about this boat trip is, number one, it happened on the 4th of July in Mississippi on open water. There were young men and young women, a lot of them under the age of, here's the key number, 21. And we know that in order to drink or consume alcohol in the United States, you have to be over the age of 21. Now, what else do we know? We know that there was only one way on to that island, and that is through a boat ride. And we also know that there's indications that there was alcohol involved in that, okay? So what is the first thing we know about alcohol consumption? Anybody drinking alcohol, the first thing it does is impair your judgment. Yeah. So now you got an underage person who didn't buy the alcohol himself, I'm assuming, okay? We don't know that for sure, but
Yes, we do know that for sure. We know that Nolan Wells didn't buy the alcohol himself. If so, wherever he purchased that alcohol, they should also be filed, have a lawsuit against them also. We know that it was some adult. Now, Bart, I need to see if Bart is 21 years old. Not putting it on him, but I'm just saying I need to look up his age. Because if it wasn't Bart, and we all know the other people that was around him was under the age of 21, that means that some adult purchased the alcohol, and according to this defense attorney right here, should also be liable for the unaliving of Nolan Wells if he wants to go this way. All right, let's keep going. Let's break this down.
Let's say they didn't buy the alcohol themselves. The alcohol was provided by somebody who either owned the boat or was a captain of the boat, and they saw them drinking. And let's just assume worst case scenario that the operator of the boat was also drinking. So now you gotta, and I'm just putting this fact pattern together, and these are the facts that we're looking at. You got a drunk boat captain driver. You got people who provided these people alcohol, all of which are underage. And now the question pops up is, how did this young boy end up dead? Clearly we have bad judgment involved. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, does alcohol consumption of underage people lead to bad judgment and poor decision making? Okay, so now that all goes back to, well, who gave them the alcohol? And was there a proper head count done when they left the island? And why would you leave somebody on the island and there's only one way off the island? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. So you're looking at potential federal, maritime law violations. You look at Mississippi State Court law violations. And the questions that I have to ask, and the question that Ben Crump is asking is, who's at fault for this? Because if we talking about a boat, then we talking about an insurance policy. And typically, people who own boats have money. So you're looking at not just a multi-million-dollar judgment, but you're looking at
a substantial payout from the insurance company. Oh yes, that's why they're trying to place Nolan Wells somewhere else besides the boat. So now, make sure you put that in your mental Rolodex, because when you start hearing, oh, Nolan, we left Nolan at the island, oh, we left Nolan here, or Nolan here, because they want to get him off of the boat, because that insurance company, I'm pretty sure, if they haven't been notified, they will be notified by the Nolan Wells family. So that's why they're trying to get Nolan off that boat and place him somewhere else, because the family is about to eat up that boat insurance company also. Oh, yes. Let's keep going.
Holding somebody responsible for wanton reckless disregard for the safety of others, which may mean punitive damages.
Ooh, money.
So this is what I'm looking at. And this is the first thing.
Now, with punitive damages, let me tell you one thing about punitive damages. That's totally different from, I need to get the verbiage, but that's totally different from compensation type of damages. Punitive damages, listen, under punitive damages, and this is real, you can file for, under punitive damages, you can put lack of sleep, lost weight, gain weight, hair loss, body dysmorphia, anxiety, PTSD, can't eat, eating too much. You can list all of the human aspects under punitive damages. Fighting in the household, no sexual appetite, can't walk, can't sleep, can't think, losing hair, can't eat, can't see. All of this goes under punitive damages. Oh my gosh. And then also, you got the father. That means he can list his punitive damages. Can't go to work, death, the threats, online harassment. All this goes under punitive damages. Now, another good thing regarding the Nolan Wells family, when they start listing their punitive damages, you get to list punitive damages for the mother, loss of job, 1-star ratings, harassment on the job, harassment in the neighborhood, harassment here, harassment by the medical examiner. Then the father can list all of his ailments. And then if they got 5 other kids, guess what? You list all of the punitive, all of the side effects because of the stress associated with the case. Then you list all of them under punitive for 1 child, 2nd child, 3rd child, 4th child, and 5th child. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. List it. Having PTSD by just seeing a boat, having PTSD just by seeing the ocean, having PTSD just seeing something with the word Mississippi on it. I'm trying to tell you what I know. Let's keep going. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
That I saw. Now, again, let me say something that's going to sound cruel. It's going to sound heartless. Okay, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I have to speak to people like, I'm be honest with you, okay? If I'm a plaintiff lawyer, I don't want this to be a murder case because ain't no money in murder. Murder is an intentional act. I want there to be negligence. I want there to be gross negligence because insurance.
When it comes to the punitive damages, this is one good thing about punitive damages versus compensation damages, but there's another word. One thing about punitive damages, as the mother, she can file loss of hair, lost weight, gain weight, no sleep, no sexual appetite. What else? Stressful household, can't clean up, can't think, can't see in the dog, want to be in the dog. She can list all of this under PTSD. Can't focus at work, PTSD, mental stress, physical stress, sexual stress. She can list all this right here. Now, the father under punitive damages, he can list all the symptoms that he's going through, even ED, erectional what they call it? Erectional, you know what ED stands for, right? He can list all of his issues that he's having associated with the case. Now, one good thing, that's what I was saying when I was on mute. The mother can file, she can list the issues that she's going through, right? The father can list all of his ailments associated with this case. Now, since they have 5 other kids, guess what? All of the parents can list all of the ailments and the stressors that each one of these kids have went through. Even though it's summertime, they're about to go back to school. She can say, for each one of my kids, they have not been able to focus in school. They're crying at school. They don't want to go to school. They can't look at the ocean. They don't want to go outside. They're scared to go outside. They're fearful for their life. All this can be listed under punitive damages, right? Punitive damages. Guess what that does to the settlement amount? It's going to times it by 5 because you can list the whole entire damages for the family under the lawsuit, y'all. I'm so glad you called me, Justine. When you called me, I looked down and I saw it. Let's go ahead. I ain't gonna go mute no more.
So if I'm if I'm Ben Crump and I'm the family, I'm praying to God that this grand jury comes back and says they no bill the case. So then we can go after we can get what they've done, and we can go after the people who took him over there in that boat, served him alcohol, participated in that alcohol, and left him on that island by himself. That's what I'm looking for. I know it sounds cruel, and I apologize for how it sounds, but this is why you bring me on the broadcast. This, to me, when you start sending out spoilage letters saying we want you to preserve all the text message, all the video footage, all the recording, that means you're building a civil case. And the last thing you want to do is get held up in a criminal proceeding because you take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before you get a conviction. And so anytime you're trying to get information from the Mississippi authorities, they're going to say something like, oh, well, we have a law enforcement privilege. We're not going to honor your subpoena right now. You got to wait till we finish. So now you file a lawsuit and you're just stuck in limbo until they finish the criminal investigation. They want to make sure this thing goes forward. Look, man, the young brother's dead. Okay? He's already dead. Okay?
Once I agree, he could have changed his tone. Now, if it was one of those other boys, his tone would have definitely been different. That's why I said, why does he talk? Why was his tone like this? Let me keep going.
I'm telling you, man, I'm in the pain business. I'm in the death business. I've handled 4 or 5 wrongful death cases over the past 4 or 5 years. It takes a toll on you. but this is the reality of it. There's no money in murder. There's money in negligence. If he died because somebody negligently got him, left him in a situation where he couldn't make a good decision, he ended up on an island somewhere and he died. The question is, was there a proper count before they left? Was the captain drunk? Did you know where he was? Who was with him? Who saw him? Who's responsible? Who has some money?
Mm-hmm.
And
that is why I could not be a civil attorney like that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that. Like for me, I ain't even that smart to get the money. I'm not that smart. I just be like, I want whoever killed him. I don't give a damn. If there's some financial justice that's attached to that, fine, we'll go after that. But first and foremost, I want this uncivilized mutt who is responsible for the death of my loved one. That's what I want first and foremost. So whatever justice looks like, that's what I want. If justice is negligence, then give me that, and then we get more money. But if justice is getting this uncivilized mutt who killed my loved one, I'm not letting that fucker walk. I'm getting his ass. I gotta get him. I gotta have that, man. I gotta get it. And if I don't get a penny after that, man, but you know how good I would sleep, man. I'm cool, bro. Because at some point, the way I see it, man, how much money do you need to be able to maintain your integrity? How much money? Well, how much does integrity cost? I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sit back and say, well, we know he murdered him, but if we can prove negligence, I'd rather prove negligence and let him slide on the murder because we're gonna make a whole lot more money if negligence is involved. See, I'm not that smart. I just wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I'd have to. I want his head. Whoever is responsible for killing my loved one, I want him. And I'm coming to get him, man. And I'm gonna use everything that I got to get him.
Well, how do you know Nolan Wells isn't?
I'm not even gonna play that part no more. I'm not even gonna play that part. Let me see. I'm gonna skip that part. No. We already know what he said. That very disgusting last statement there. Let me go back to your comments. And I'm gonna let you go. But I did pull up what is compensatory versus punitive damages. So it is two different types of damages that the family can sue for. And also, like Texas has the multi-assailants domain doctrine law. Basically, if you wasn't part of the unaliving of someone, but someone passed away, Mississippi has their own laws regarding that. It is not called multi-assailants law doctrine, but it is something in Mississippi that covers that, okay? So let me go here. Well, matter of fact, let me go ahead and share the screen real quick, and then I go to the comments and end with the comments here. Let me go and share this right here. All right, of course, I didn't have time to snip it up, so we're just going to pull it off the screen. Now, let's go ahead and read this right here. Let me blow this up. All right, here we go. Now, punitive damages. If you meant punitive damage, a common legal term, here's what they are. Punitive damages. Hold on. The first thing, we'll go with punitive damages. We'll go back up. Punitive damages are monetary damages awarded to punish a defendant for specifically egregious conduct and to deter similar conduct in the future. Hold on. All right. Unlike compensatory damages, which are meant to reimburse a plaintiff for actual losses, which they should be able to sue the family. Nolan's Well family also should be able to sue for compensatory damages if they couldn't work, if either one of them couldn't go to work. Of course, if they got fired or anything like that, or distress, they should definitely file for this too. Punitive damages are intended to punish conduct that is more than merely negligent. Examples of conduct that may support punitive damage includes intentional misconduct, Mississippi Examiner. Fraud and deceit. You already know where you're going. Malice, willful or wanton disregard for the safety and rights of other. Didn't they say they was getting those type of threats? And gross negligence. Now these are the difference. Compensatory damages versus punitive damages. Compensatory damages is compensate the victim. Cover medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, and property damage. Available in many civil cases. I told you they can get both of these damages. Punitive damages. Punish the wrongdoer. Award only in exceptional cases. Available when the legal standards is met. Okay, so everything that I described, actually, it was compensatory damages, right? Instead of punitive damages. But you know what I mean. You know what I knew what I was talking about. I just put it in the different category. Now, Mississippi law. Mississippi allows punitive damages in certain civil cases, but they are not automatic. Generally, the plaintiff must prove by clear and convincing evidence that the defendant acted in actual malice. All of those parents of those boys, grown men that was out there on that boat with Nolan Wells, there were grown men, okay? Gross negligence, demonstrating a willful, wanton, and reckless. See, so Spurling was saying it. He always had to put he sprinkled a little boo-boo up in there, okay? Reckless disregard for safety and others, and actual fraud. Mississippi. Now, also regarding the, I'm going to say here, if they clean that boat, so let's just say, Tony talks, well, what about the boat? Well, let's say they cleaned that boat very well. And let's say there was no bodily evidence on that boat. Well, their investigator, let's say they hire their own physical investigator. If they go to that boat and they see where it was clean and there's a receipt that the boat was clean, they can say, oh, you committed some type of fraud. We can't prove it, but we can, under circumstances, evidence. I can't tell you everything. Just disregard. Mississippi also has statutory proceedings governing when punitive damages may be considered, and in many cases, statutory caps on the amounts that may be awarded, right? Let's see here. Supposed, alleged, presumed. Okay. Now, let me go back up to maritime law. Oh, multi-assailant. Instead, Mississippi used legal doctrines such as implicit liability, aiding and abetting, acting in concert, and conspiracy, y'all. These doctrines also allow multiple participants to be held criminally responsible for the same offense. So this is Mississippi version of Texas multi-assailant law. Accomplice liability, acting together. Everybody that was on that boat in that recording, if allegedly it happened on the boat. Under Mississippi law, a person who aids, encourages, insists, or acts together with one another in committing a crime can be treated as a principal, even if that person does not personally commit every act of the offense. Mississippi appellate courts, they haven't even got that far. Let's go to conspiracy. Mississippi also recognizes criminal conspiracy where two or more people agree to commit a crime. After the fact. Didn't we think we heard somebody say, can we cover this up? Conspiracy. Depending on the facts, conspiracy may be charged in addition to the underlying offense. In a case involving multiple attackers. Now, we don't know if he had multiple attackers. Of course, there's other people saying other things happened after his body transition. So if that can be proven, this is what will go on. If prosecutors allege that several individuals participated in the assault, the homicide, or other crime, they generally do not need a special multi-assailant statute. Instead, they may rely on accomplice, liability, or conspiracy principles to argue that each participant bear criminal responsibility for the criminal acts committed in furtherance of the joint activity. Whether that appears in any given case depends on the evidence. Okay. Okay, listen. If your question is whether Mississippi law allows more than one person to be held legally responsible if multiple individuals were involved in the homicide, the answer is yes under Mississippi in appropriate circumstances. However, whether those doctrines apply will depend on the evidence developed in the investigation. Got it. Now let's go to the multi-marching law. Okay. Is a body of law that governs activity on navigable waters, including oceans, seas, rivers, and lakes and ports. It covers disputes involving ships, cargo, maritime workers, passengers, offshore operations, and certain incidences occurring on navigable waterways. Common errors covered by maritime laws. Boating accidents. This is why they want Nolan Wells to be off of that boat. Boating accidents. This is why, and I think this is federal. This is why they don't want him on the boat for many reasons. Not just to cover up the physical evidence that could be on the boat, but because so many other laws will apply to the case and the insurance company if he was unallowed on that boat. Boating accidents, collisions, injuries, fatalities, ship collisions, wrongful death at sea, cruise ship passenger claims, cargo damages and loss, salvage, marine insurance, environmental pollution, maritime. Okay. Why is maritime law different? The unique area because it is a largely federal law, y'all. This is why they don't want Nolan's on that boat. If they're found out that Nolan Wells was on that boat, it's against federal law. Many rules are based on centuries of international maritime customs. Federal courts generally have jurisdictions over maritime cases, although some maritime claims may also be brought in state courts. There we go, y'all. There we go. Could it apply to the Nolan Wells case? Based only on public discussed information, that is not something that can be determined without additional legal facts. We know about that. Gotcha. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But I just wanted to share my screen with y'all. Did y'all see that? That's why they didn't want Nolan on the boat. Not just to cover up where he could have been unalived. They want to cover it up because if he was unalived on that boat, federal laws will apply. And also the insurance companies will be can be sued for multi-million-dollar lawsuits. That is one thing, and I agree with Mr. Dennis Spurling regarding that. Let me go here. Let me see where I found out. Let me see where I'm at. Ooh. Good thought, Tony. A switcheroo on the boat tags. I agree. Blood would be on the boat till this day. Cadaver dogs, right. And those lights used to illuminate blood spectrum. Or they had the whole entire bottom of the boat replaced. And listen, even with a special investigator, they can go to that boat. They can say, how long have you had that boat? They can say X amount of years. But they see where it is a brand new bottle. That's an indicator. Even if they sell the boat, they can still go down, get a warrant to go to the new owner's house to search the boat. But I'm trying to tag it. Which when those devils do rituals. Exactly. Have some respect, Mr. Lawyer. Another boy. Come on now. Come on. Deion Walton was found unalive in the water on the 4th and was from Nolan's Come on, y'all. If this is the case, y'all, I'm gonna have to seriously. I would love to continue to read these comments here, but I would have to end this live just to maintain my sanity. Every time I do a live, another name is popping up in the comments. Hold on, y'all. Deion, we were just talking. Oh my gosh. A high school student drowned in lake on 4th of July. Let me see if he had any friends. Let's see if his friends was there. He was born in 2008 and he passed away July the 4th, 2026. Deion Tyree Walton. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Okay, let me see right here. Drowning. Let's see if he had friends. Covington County, Alabama. It says Alabama. Jason Walton and John Walton's stomach turned when they got the frightening call from their nephew, football coach, as they was leaving the store with food on the grill out for the 4th of July holiday. The coach told them that their nephew, Deion Walton, had gone missing in a community lake. He was like, Jason, where are you guys? I said, we just got back from the store. He was like, well, you need to know, you need to get here now. It's something with Deion. You need to get here as soon as possible. His uncle, Jason Walton, said. They went to the community lake off Harmony Church Road in Covington County, where Walton had been with some of his teammates celebrating the holiday, y'all. We got there and saw all of the rescue squads, and I'm like, what's going on? Walton said. His family said they were told Walton and some friends jumped off the pier into the lake to see who could swim to the small island in the middle of the pond the fastest. But Deion struggled as he was cramping up. How did I know they was going to say that he was cramping up? After turning back towards the pier, calling for help to try to grab onto a floaty, he was already starting to sink underwater. Friends couldn't find him for well over 30 minutes, which turned into 2 hours. The parents who owned the home said they tried to jump in and find him and they couldn't. It doesn't seem real. Family said Deion was a mediocre swimmer and he was used to pools but not lakes where you can't see the bottom. Although this is a tragedy, his uncle said there is one message that comes out of this. Be careful. The message is not don't get into there on a holiday and have fun, because this could be the consequences, but be careful. The other uncle, John Walton, said, if I had known, I would have told him to have a life floaty with him. Ooh. So, y'all, this happened at the house of one of his teammates that had their own little lake. They went to a community lake off of Harmony Church Road in Covington County, where Walton had been there with some of his teammates celebrating the holiday. His family said that they were told that Walton and some friends jumped off a pier into the lake to see who could swim to a small island. Y'all, I could be wrong, but who does that? Who does? And if the uncle said that Deion Walton was a mediocre swimmer, why would he even attempt to swim from a pier to a small island when according to the uncles, he's used to pools but not a lake, y'all. Oh, Oh my gosh. This clown Dennis, so matter of fact about what happened to Nolan, he is disgusting to me. He has an issue with black people. Yes. Who? So they're placing him in Alabama. I'm not sure what high school Nolan went to. If they cut my son's life and future short, then they're not going to move forward, resting easy and believing money would covenant a multitude of their ongoing and upcoming sins. My issue with what somebody had put earlier in the live stream, that according to what they said, and maybe she changed her mind now, that whatever the grand jury came back, it says that Nolan Wells' mother would be okay with it. I don't like that, but I'm pretty sure she's probably changed her mind by now. Exactly. Justice is justice, hands down. The money doesn't alleviate the pain. That lawyer is distasteful. Come on with it. Somebody said you killed him. Facts. Right. Deion Walton, what year was his demise? This year. It just happened on the 4th, along with Nolan Wells and also Tyler Smith. This year. He was born October the 23rd to October the 29th, 2008. Everybody else that we went over, discussed over here, was born in 2007. Oh my gosh. So that means he was 17. He was 17, y'all. Yeah, because Dennis could be saying, not my son. Come on with it. Everything's not all about money. Civil cases are not for money. Not my son. Come on with it. This is crazy. It needs to be ooh. Plus, I think it was premeditated because they took 3 boats that was said to be identical boats alleged. Come on with it. Being Crump is ethical and has a heart. Attorneys like Dennis don't last. They got the wrong mindset. Facts. Yes, Pamela, I've been trying to let everybody know because nobody's saying his name. I never heard of his name. Thank you for that, Miss Pamela. Spurling is not smart. Willie said, if it was my child that they unalive, we want criminal conviction first and foremost. Is hypothetical, Mr. Spurling, aka Dennis the Menace. I remember they call him that. It's not always about money. You got to have morals. What year did Deion? This year here. He passed away this year here. Let me check it again. Because this article came out. Yeah, this article came out July the 9th, 2026. So the same day that Nolan Wells lost his life and the same day that Tyler Smith lost his life is the same day that Deion Walton passed away, 2026. Claps for you and Willie covering this. This effing lawyer blaming the victim. Dang. Even if Nolan was drunk, you would let your so-called long friend supposedly drown and not left unattended. Facts. So for him, you got to take that's why I say you had to take some of the parts with a grain of salt. Well, how the effing do you know somebody else is not responsible? Come on with it, boy. Come on with it. Like he did it to himself. Really? Just because if that was the case, this would have been an open and closed case long time ago, drowning, and they would have showed proof of that within 7 days or less. Just because alcohol was involved doesn't mean Nolan consumed any alcohol. Facts. If so, what does it hasn't come back yet, Justine? You know, they say it takes 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks for the toxicology report to come back. They haven't said nothing about toxicology report. Money, the root of all evil. All money ain't good money, blood money for your loved one. Come on with it. I see both civil, right. This month, not sure why it's not getting covered hard. Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't get it either. In Alabama, y'all, So South Carolina, nothing in Georgia, thank God. Then you got Alabama just with this case. Then you got Mississippi with Nolan. Louisiana, nothing as of right now. And then you got Texas with Karmelo Anthony over there sitting behind bars going through a physical death, a mental death. Right. They should pursue both civil and criminal, both qualify. Come on with it. Come on with it. I hope they leave Miami. So people will do anything for money just to have no morale. Listen, did you hear what he said? He said he's in the death business. I said, God dang, Dennis. He said he's in the death business. Seemed like a rich rites of passage. Couldn't hear you, Pastor. I got it. I fixed it. Thanks, Lady T. Definitely have to keep our family and friends in prayer. Tony, you would make a great litigation. Oh, I would eat them up. Just pay me just to answer my question. Then I walk out the room. I'm sure the siblings are suffering emotionally. Right. Compensatory damages. Yes. Remember, Melo had to move it. Right. And that applies also to Texas. That's why Crump is working on the criminal lawsuit. Now we know the different parts of the damages that would be in all of these criminal lawsuits. Hey, how you doing, Kevin? How you doing? Hey there, Tony Talks. This is another great YouTube live stream. Of course, I'm now sitting on the front seat this with you and all the other vessels. Come on, Kevin. You definitely was in under the chats. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I definitely want Karmelo Anthony family to get justice and get convictions on those losses and what happened to his family members as well. Yes. You would have to get the toxicology results involving drugs and alcohol to go after the person who brought it and allow facts. But you know they ain't gonna tell on nobody. You know they ain't gonna tell, but somebody gonna have to tell, especially if he got substances in his system. You know what they're gonna do? Because they already started doing that. Oh, that's his. He brought that himself. You know how they gonna say it. Sometimes we gotta be like Gideon and hang out around the enemy to see what they are planning, and then we go from there. Come on with it, Tenno. Leadbetter sounds like he is auditioning for. See, thanks, because you have to have a. They have a boat. They have money. He's telling them how he could win the case for them. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, it does seem like he is auditioning for potential clients. I got what you're saying now. I definitely do also after all they've been through. Willie is correct. Why should a murderer keep sleeping in a soft bed, getting married, having children, take vacations, and living like a rock star just because the family has money? Good. I never want the lie to end. This channel is life and peace to me. Listen. Thank you so much for that. I'll take that. I'm gonna end real soon because I got a live to do in the morning for my Shador Sanders vessels. But thank you so much. But I am coming back tomorrow night. Regarding my Nancy Grace commentary. From my perspective, historically, white rich folks have known to unalive folks about their money, allegedly. And see, that's what I'm saying. Now, you bring up something very good. When you hit them in the pockets, and they got to pay up, that is one of the greatest assaults to them mentally. When you hit them in the pocket, and they got to pay, oh, trust me, they take great offense to that. So they're going to wound them. They are definitely going to wound them when they win this settlement. From my perspective, you're right. They would go crazy about their money. So you're going to hit them. Oh, it's going to be a great assault to them, their family name and everything. Now that I got to play out this black family, oh, trust me. That's why she sent letters to intent to sue for all of the parents. She going after the parents of those kids. Come on with it. I think compensatory damages is for the losses of income from employees, and I think it got it backwards too. I need to reverse it. But I thought everything I listed was on punitive. But I'm gonna get it. Yes, aiding and abetting, acting together, and committing a crime get the cuffs. Conspiracy was clear. And he don't even bring up that call. Willie D did, but he tried to skate around that call. God works in mysterious ways. His wonders to perform. I saw a story on criminal drama where a man won big in a Las Vegas casino. The man lived on a houseboat to be continued. Okay, come on, Tano. Maritime laws is the surety. They were speaking to him while they were on the call, and he did, you know what? He did give out the coordinates. He did give out the coordinates, but see, he can say, "Oh, I called for distress. I called for assistance. Nolan wasn't on the boat." That's what he's probably going to say. One way in, one way out, and they don't see him return to the dock. Now, this is what the lawyer also said. Whoever the captain was of the boat, they was responsible for making sure that everybody got on the boat and was safe. So still, it's some leeway in there. I saw yesterday somebody showed that the GPS could be changed on the boat. Mind-boggling. You can manipulate it. I'm pretty sure you can manipulate it, but all it would take is somebody that, like a forensic scientist or somebody that does the digital type of stuff, and they can see where it has been altered. So let's say they take that part of the boat and send it off to the laboratory. You got somebody there that knows what it's supposed to look like, and they'll be like, okay, somebody has messed with it. That's going to be damaging. So even if they alter it, right? Somebody can take it, do some forensics on it, and say, no, it's been altered. Trust me. I understand, Tony. I just keep saying my prayers. Come on with it, Aries. Yes, I heard that they claim he was cramping up and didn't swim well. So, right. So why? I don't think, if he knew that he was an okay swimmer, right? Why would you even attempt to swim in a lake from a pier to a small island? And one thing about this article, it didn't say how far that island was. We're not doing all that in a pool, yes. But come on now, this don't sound right. And they didn't list the names, y'all. They didn't list the friends' names. So what's that telling you? Alabama got real quiet. Listen, I'm gonna bust this out tomorrow. Thank you so much for putting that in there, Miss Lady T, or whoever brought that to the chat. But I'm gonna add him to the list. Alabama, you got very quiet. Gotcha. Yes, I heard they claim he was clamping. Okay, let's dig in later on the Deion Walton to find who performed his autopsy. Facts. Is there a link to the nope? And the player's name was not listed. Also, it was hush hush. Oh, is Alabama? What's the details? Oh no, is Alabama? That's all I got. I gotta dig. That don't even sound right. And I signed this too. Yes. Finally made it home. Teresa, thank you. I'm glad you made it home 10 minutes ago. Great job, Miss Tony. Thank you, Tony. That was Miss Lady T because I didn't know about it either. Okay. Warren's dad is an emergency room toxicologist. I heard about that too. They all know each other. Chucky Diesel. I've been modding for Willie for years. Salute to the homie. Come on with it. Chucky Diesel 9. Okay. Why would he refuse assistance for the Coast Guard? We don't know. Oh, yeah, I know. Because Nolan was on that boat unconscious or wasn't breathing. That's why. Allegedly, my opinion. Because Nolan was on that boat. Or Nolan was on that boat unconscious. Had already transpired. I said it. On the call, somebody had stepped in a pool of and tell No to get up on the boat. It's 10 miles away from the main lane. Exactly. That's why. See, they tried to do what they call it, the alibi. When they first called Tow to make it seem like they was in distress. And then call back and cancel it. It's because I think at that time, they had already put the alibi out there. Already made the false call. And that also should be a criminal fine, right? Case. A charge. But since they had already put the alibi out there, all right, we good. We covered our tracks. They thought they covered their tracks, but Nolan was on that boat allegedly. So Vestas, until next time. Oh, I got something for y'all. This is just a video. I want y'all to hear this right here. So to America, here you go.
Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 47, same thing. Don't want black people to get it. We have to figure out a way to keep black people from using Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill, and that would discourage poor black people from showing up at the hospitals. Nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right is because of racism. He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro.
How many times do I have to say this? Racism is a detriment to you white folks, poor white folks especially. Because of racism, you poor white folks can't even get good health care. Because they thought if they could deny, you have to pay 20% because of racism. We keep telling you, BIPOC keep telling you, black people keep telling you, it is not us that makes your life suck. It is those racist politicians and their racist legislation that they think that's going to harm us, but harms you at the same time. And they don't care if it harms you. They don't give a shit. And then you continue to vote against your own interest. All because a bunch of rich white people told y'all to hate black people because black people are doing stuff to you as a whole. And we're not, because we don't control shit. We don't control the healthcare system. We don't control Social Security. We don't control your wages. We don't control shit. But they continue to tell you that it's us. So you turn your focus on us and harass the shit out of us for no fucking reason. When we have no power to affect your life as a whole community. Pay attention.
Bam. I had to leave on that one.
Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 47, same thing. Don't want black people to get it. We have to figure out a way to keep black people from using Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill, and that would discourage poor black people from showing up at the hospitals. Nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right is because of racism. He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro.
How many times do I have to say this? Racism is a detriment to you white folks, poor white folks especially. Because of racism, you poor white folks can't even get good health care. Because they thought if they could deny health care to... We keep telling you, BIPOC keep telling you, black people keep telling you, it is not us that makes your life suck. It is those racist politicians and their racist legislation that they think that's going to harm us, but harms you at the same time. And they don't care if it harms you. They don't give a shit. And then you continue to vote against your own interest. All because a bunch of rich white people told y'all to hate black people because black people are doing stuff to you as a whole. And we're not, because we don't control shit. We don't control the healthcare system. We don't control Social Security. We don't control your wages. We don't control shit. But they continue to tell you that it's us. So you turn your focus on us and harass the shit out of us for no fucking reason. When we have no power to affect your life as a whole community.
Facts.
Pay attention.
And And do y'all see where the first gentleman that was speaking, he was going over the historical facts. He was calling out Franklin Teddy Roosevelt. We're talking about before the Great Depression or after the Great Depression in the 1930s. Franklin Teddy Roosevelt, I remember him in high school because he's the only president that has been elected to the president 3 times, and he was just that damn good. And after that, they said nobody can be president more than 2 terms because of what FDR did for the black folks. Because he was actually trying to look out for the black folks. And you hear, go back, watch this again. He wanted to give free health care to everybody, even the black folks, and they said no. Well, y'all heard what he said, because they didn't want black folks to get health care. And you talking about almost 100 years later. Right now, we're talking about 80 years later. The politicians are still tricking white poor folks in believing that if we get any rights that's equivalent to theirs, we setting them back. So they would rather go without and hurt themselves instead of doing what is right by themselves and everybody and all the other Americans. But I'm trying to tell you, America, your own racism from the inside out is eating you at the core. And some people is still blind and don't even see it. Let it continue, because we are God's people and we still pushing through. It done got so crazy now that with the president, with the current president that's in office, they still don't wonder. They still wondering why black people got joy, why black people still looking like they're having fun. They dancing, they got boots on the ground, they got cowboy hats. It drove them crazy last year when they was screaming and scrambling for food and for water and for gas, and black people across in the fields, in the woods, doing boots on the ground and everything like that, the cowboy dance. It drove them crazy. And they even said, they turned around and said that Trump was working for the black folks, but they don't know that this thing is spiritual. You hear what I'm saying? Racism is eating America at the core, and they don't even see it. The racism is parasites within the racist white folks, and they don't even know it. But go ahead, let them keep. All right, Vestas, let me read these right here. I'm almost saying something. Let me read this right here. Let me put my music back on. See, because when I got my music on, I can stay right here. Once that music go off, there's no filter. Okay, let's keep going. Let me go ahead. Let me go back to these comments. Tony, they got no, y'all Vestas. Don't do that. Where them fans at? Don't do that. Tony, they got that from the psychic lady about Nolan had cramps. So the article that I was talking about was for Deion Walton, that we just found out that just passed on the same day as Nolan with the darn cramps. My gosh, handsome young man. Oh, have mercy. And I never even heard that Nolan had cramps. Oh, Jesus. I almost thought about something. I'm gonna keep that to myself. That were telling no to get on the boats. They were calling to get up off the ground floor of the boat. He was out. Yeah, trying to call him back. Yeah, he was gone. She's speaking facts. Come on with it. Where them fans at? Here you go, Pamela Way. Right, it's spiritual. Y'all, now I Sylvester's, I'm gonna let y'all go. I got a live in the morning in the next 10 hours. My other Vestas. Speak, Tony, love your show. I gotta play my music to stay filtered. But thank you so much for everybody for participating in this online forum. Y'all sleep well. I just wait. I love it. Okay, then, Lady E, we'll see you in the morning then. 9:45. I think it's 9:45 at the latest 10:15. So, Vestas, officially, until next time, make sure you're going to get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we stay vested up over here 365 degrees at Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. I see you tomorrow twice if you're a Shador Sanders fan. If not, I see you tomorrow night. I mean, that's better. We good, Miss Pamela Way? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you then, okay? Bye-bye. Take care. Good night, good night, good night. Come on with it, Tano. Come on with it, Tano. Come on. In the lights.